Well, happy Tuesday. I am meteorologist Justin Gehrts, joined by meteorologist Aaron White
Hello.
on this delightful Tuesday.
Yeah, delightful Tuesday. Nice bright sunshine.
Yeah.
Feeling good out there, aside from a chill.
There's a chill in the air. No, we were just both outside actually a short time ago, and both in the nice warm jacket. And it's like, yeah, it's one of those funny days where it looks really nice. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to complain about
Sure.
wall-to-wall sunshine, but you go and think, oh, it's going to be warmer
it's gonna be a
than
great day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's a little cooler than you might otherwise expect.
Yeah,
But,
what's up with that?
I know, right? But I suppose the good thing is anybody who's a little bummed about it being a little cool, it's not going to last much longer.
True, yeah. We got south winds kicking in tomorrow. We get 60s back in the forecast, and I know we have some 80s in the 7 days. So I feel like we're making that switch, and hopefully, I know we still got some time the rest of April and even into early May. We can get some of those freezes, but maybe this is the last one.
Yeah,
We can only hope.
Actually, Tracy was trying to put me on the spot yesterday on the newscast because it's like, we're going to be running out of time for freezes coming
Sure.
up because we're not going to have any for the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
And by that point, not impossible, but it's getting really
harder.
hard. So,
Yeah.
that'll be something we watch for. But I suppose we can get to how cool it got this morning.
Sure, yeah.
Officially 31 in Columbus at John Glenn International, and a few of those areas up north, outlying areas, dipped all the way into the mid-20s. In fact, all the way down to 24 in Mansfield this morning. Once again, for tonight, we are watching for a freeze across pretty much the entire area. And once again, you want to protect those plants. If you have gotten excited, already gotten some of the sensitive annuals out, well, bring them back inside tonight again before you go to bed, or cover them with a light cloth sheet and then let them back out tomorrow morning. Here's a check of the forecast low temperatures tomorrow, aiming for about 28 in Columbus. In fact, just about everybody is going to be dipping into the 20s, so do bear that in mind. A few of us may hang on to 30 or so. I can say, though, that once we get past tomorrow morning, there is a big warm-up on the way. Now, today's high of 46, that's about 15 degrees below normal, but tomorrow, 62, that's pretty much spot on average. Those 70s Thursday, Friday, well above average. Even that little setback on Saturday is still 6 degrees above normal. Early next week, low 80s perhaps, pushing 20 degrees above normal. So just got to get through today and things are going to be substantially warmer. Outside right now, not a cloud to be found, and that's the case not just here in central Ohio, but pretty much statewide. Here's a look at the visible satellite picture, and you'll notice not much going on. We'll widen out the view here. Up in far northeastern Ohio, we have some of the lake effect clouds, but the reason for the sunny skies, high pressure. That's squashing any moisture, any rising air. However, this is Canadian high pressure, which has brought down, of course, that cooler air for the time being. There you see that's clockwise flow around it, bringing those cooler temperatures from the north. In fact, it's still only 36 in Toledo and 35 in Akron, 29 in Erie. Whew. That's really something for the afternoon in mid-April, or rather early April. But there is going to be what we call return flow as that high pressure moves away. So we're going to see southerly to southwesterly winds come back as early as tomorrow. Here's that hour by hour. About the only thing you'll be able to tell is going on this for the next day or so is the fact that the clock is moving. There's just nothing out there as far as our active weather is concerned. Later on, to rather Wednesday evening, maybe some high thin clouds start to come in from the west. That's mainly during the day on Thursday, though, as our next weather system begins to approach. However, it's not until Friday that we start to really see those rain chances start to come back. We start to see some of the signs of that moisture returning to our north Thursday evening, but I think our shower chances are mainly going to be during the day on Friday. And they're pretty small chances at this point. Of course, as we get close, we'll fine-tune the forecast, get a better sense of timing and amounts, but right now, whatever we do get looks pretty light. In fact, probably under 1/10 of an inch as it stands at this point. Early next week, our rain chances start to return. Looks like the middle of next week is when our next best chance of rain is going to be. As far as how things are looking for today, about 46 degrees for a high with all that sunshine out there. Winds are lighter than what they were yesterday. Out of the north, 5 to 10 miles an hour, maybe a little bit higher from time to time. Sunset this evening, 8:02, so plenty of time to enjoy today's sunshine, even if you do have to bundle up to do that. All right, so for tonight, we're down to 28 for a low. Mostly sunny skies send us all the way to 62 for Wednesday afternoon. So, yeah, a big jump from today to tomorrow. After that, check out those overnight lows, 40s and 50s, even some mid-60s for lows early next week. And you'll see those highs also rebound quite nicely. 75 on Thursday, 74 Friday. Little drop on Saturday, 67. But as I showed you earlier, that's still above normal. Early next week, warmth, 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 low 80s perhaps on the board. Going with 81 both Sunday and Monday as we look ahead toward early next week. So
Sure, making some progress here.
onward and upward.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the things that really helps, of course, with all the sunshine, we're starting to get more sun really through the day. Our days are getting longer, and now we actually have sunsets after 8 p.m.
I'm excited.
So, always ready for that. So, of course, if you've been ready to enjoy some more sunshine, yeah, starting this week, actually, starting yesterday, our sunset is now after 8 p.m. in Columbus. Of course, that means sunsets over the next few months going to still be after 8 p.m. And I believe it's sometime in early June, we actually see the sunset after 9 p.m.
Wow.
So,
that's not that far off, honestly.
No, it's
the
not.
time rolls along pretty quick.
Yeah, so ready for that and just ready for some more sunshine.
Yeah, and we are gaining a little daylight each day, of course, and until we hit the summer solstice on June 21st.
Yeah, and you'll actually start to notice the sun has kind of been getting higher and higher in the sky. You're looking at the sun angle here through the course of the year. So right now the sun angle, I believe, is about in the around 57 degrees. So it's going to continue to get higher in the sky, but that also means that the UV radiation is also going to be higher and higher, so that UV index is going to really start to go up, especially on the days when we have this bright sunshine. And even today, even though it's chilly outside, the UV index is still a little bit higher.
Yeah, sunscreen is still going to be an important thing. And what are we? What about 2 weeks past the equinox?
Yeah.
So if you think about it in the reverse, that would be a similar sun angle to early September.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
so if you can get sunburn in early September, you can get a sunburn, this time of year.
Yeah, so yeah, things to keep in mind. And of course, while we are seeing these warmer days, of course, great for us here in central Ohio. Out west, not so much for the fire season, where wildfires in California are still burning.
Yeah, the Springs fire over in Riverside County started on Friday. That's as powerful Santa Ana winds fanned those flames and causing that blaze to grow in size. Video shows planes dropping that fire retardant on helicopters dumping water on the flames as well.
And that's actually just one of 3 wildfires burning right now. The blue fire spans at just about 15 acres, but is 0% contained. And you can actually track all the wildfires using this interactive map. It actually shows the total number of wildfires in the Golden State plus total emergency response, acres burned, and containment levels. We've got a map linked to our website on 10tv.com. Just look under the featured links.
And of course, California is not the only place where fires are burning this week. Blazes are happening down in Florida as well, and that's where a fire down in the Big Cypress area was growing as of Monday.
Yeah, Haley Jacobs from our CBS station, Wink, actually reports on that.
Big Cypress federal land tells me ground and aviation crews are still working on strategies to extinguish and contain this fire. They tell me the fire has grown to roughly 350 acres. Right now, I'm not seeing any visibility issues along I-75, just a strong bonfire-like smell in the air. Take a look at this video from earlier. Heavy smoke filling the air as crews work to contain the fire. Wildfire.gov says 54 people are responding to the fire, including 6 fire engines and 2 helicopters. The site also lists 110 structures as threatened. The Collier County Sheriff's Office told visitors to evacuate Bear Island and surrounding campgrounds yesterday afternoon. It is not confirmed how many people actually evacuated. Big Cypress federal land tells me this fire remains 0% contained. Additional resources have been called in. In Immokalee, Haley Jacobs, Wink News.
And I know a lot of people don't really think about it too much, but Florida does get a lot of fires.
Yeah.
Looking at the drought monitor right now, they are seeing extreme to exceptional drought conditions across a large part of the state. So hopefully they'll get some rain and can really help those conditions out there.
That would be beneficial for sure.
Yeah, so we'll be watching that, of course. And when it comes to fighting fires like the ones we are seeing across the country, early detection can actually make a massive difference in response.
Yeah, and as Brian Mass has this story from Denver, Colorado, where the state is using planes to monitor fires and detect even the smallest flames before they get out of control.
For decades, the 2002 Hayman Fire was the largest in state history. 138,000 acres burned southwest of Denver, 133 homes gone. Fire experts say 2026 has a lot of the same conditions as 2002.
Obviously, we've had a warmer winter than we've had in a really long time. That's going to lead to more fuel drying and availability of fuels later on in the summer. So
Jeff Rasmussen is the state's chief of fire planning and says the subpar snowpack, warm winter, and drought conditions line up with what led to statewide fires of 2002. But 24 years later, the state now has 2 of these Pilatus aircraft to help manage fires after they've started and detect fires before they become infernos.
People rely on this information to make decisions more so than ever before, and this is one of the best tools we have to provide that real-time information to the people on the ground.
The planes will fly every day during peak fire season, with 2 operators in the back mapping fires and relaying information to ground crews.
One of the critical tools on this plane is this infrared camera that I'm talking to right now, which can help firefighters on the plane spot a fire right as it's starting.
This area of heat on the south side where
State fire personnel say the camera can pick up heat signals from 15,000 feet up.
and then these fingers off to the east side that have stayed pretty much on the mesa top.
Detecting small fires that cannot be seen by the naked eye, but can be picked up by the camera, getting crews to douse fires before they really get going.
It's really shown over time the power of intelligence and information.
Fire detection is the key.
Peter Vidmar, the intelligence unit chief with the State Division of Fire, says this summer's fire season could be longer than normal due to the short snowpack.
We try to lean into the science as much as we can.
I'm not ready to go home.
Humans have to go, we've got to explore, we got to go further to expand our knowledge, expand our horizons.
Well, you heard they're not ready to go home yet. Of course, Artemis crew, they've been flying by the moon here over the last 24 hours, and they're actually now moving back towards the Earth. The astronauts completed a historic swing around the far side of the moon last night. They were 4,000 miles above the moon's surface and said they could see different textures and colors. The crew also took the time to name a crater in honor of the late wife of Commander Reed Wiseman.
Bright spot on the moon, and we would like to call it Carol.
And so with this journey, Artemis II beat Apollo 13's record for the furthest distance traveled into space.
Yeah, pretty remarkable stuff to see that in the Artemis II mission. Now headed back to Earth, as you mentioned, is after the astronauts traveled farther into space than any other human. Also saw the crew members looking out the window back toward the Earth before the lunar flyby, and later they described what it was like out there, what it was like to be out there, rather. Mark Strassman is at the Johnson Space Center with more.
Houston copies. We'll see you on the other side.
This extraordinary view is Earthsat, our planet dropping below the lunar horizon.
It's a privilege to witness you carrying the fire past our side of the street. Thank you. Godspeed.
All communication was also about to drop. Pilot Victor Glover.
And all of you down there on Earth and around Earth, we love you.
For 40 minutes, nothing. The crew on the moon's far side could talk only to each other. Then came Earthrise, the planet reappearing above the lunar horizon. Mission Control could hear their astronauts again.
And it is so great to hear from Earth again.
And tell Earth what that experience was like, especially when the questions came during a congratulatory call from President Trump.
What was your feeling when you had no communication? A little bit different, perhaps?
I said a little prayer, but then I had to keep rolling. I was actually recording scientific observations of the far side of the moon. We were busy up here working really hard, and I must say, it was actually quite nice.
Earlier, the crew proposed naming 2 lunar craters, one poignantly for Commander Reed Wiseman's late wife, Carol. She died of cancer in 2020.
And it's a bright spot on the moon. And we would like to call it Carol. And you spell that C-A-R-R-O-L-L.
Mission Control was hushed. The crew hugged. It was a day in space that ran a range of emotions and otherworldly experiences.
The surprise of the day, we just came out of an eclipse, and the entire dark moon, about that big, right out the window that we were watching. We could see the corona of the sun, and then we could see the planet train line up, and all of us commented how excited we are to watch this nation and this planet become a 2-planet species.
The entire lunar flyby of the backside took about 7 hours. Today, the crew is in for some science, some manual flying, and some deserved downtime. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Houston.
Yeah, quite the views there, and
Yeah,
finally,
just incredible.
Yeah, just so remarkable. All right, let's check out some new video into us here at 10 TV. Sticking with Artemis II, this video here is a time lapse of that solar eclipse ending as the crew made their lunar flyby. The crew members conducted that flyby on Monday and became the first humans to see some parts of the far side of the moon with the naked eye. Artemis crew began observing the solar eclipse, not visible from Earth, only to the crew aboard their craft. So yeah, only ones who could see that one.
Yeah, just imagine being out there and just being able to witness that. And you know, eclipses here, you know, we see them for maybe like 4 minutes or so.
Yeah,
and
if you're lucky, I mean, for that long.
Yeah, exactly. But being able to witness it there from space, totally remarkable. And while we were talking about the moon began eclipsing the sun, the astronauts needed to wear eclipse glasses to protect their eyes, of course. But once the moon completely covered the sun, they were able to remove them and observe the sun's corona unobstructed. Totally just a cool sight. And totality lasted much longer than it would here on Earth, of course, due to the spacecraft being so close to the moon. The Artemis crew told NASA they have already seen at least 4 impact flashes or quick flashes of light from the impact of a meteor on the moon during the eclipse.
Yeah, I suppose that would give you just such a good perspective because like you've got that dark thing right in front of you, and wow, I can't even imagine. Because like I saw the total solar eclipse here in Ohio a couple years ago, and that was just absolutely remarkable. But their vantage point, just unimaginable.
It's like next level.
Yeah, beyond anything we can even comprehend, I'm sure. Well, finally today, one final space story, but this time from down here on Earth. Check out this video from after SpaceX launched a Falcon 9 rocket Monday night from Vandenberg Space Force Base. Launch happened just after sunset.
Yeah, no, these ones are always cool to see. You can see it just right there in the video. This launch could actually be seen across the Southern California sky. According to SpaceX, the rocket is carrying 25 Starlink satellites to get them into a low Earth orbit. And, you know, we see launches like this all the time there in Southern California. And a lot of people will see them and comment and like, what's going on? And then they realize, oh, it's a SpaceX launch.
Yeah, well, I've seen comments even from the East Coast as well, where you get the exhaust like you see there. And they're very far away from where it launched, but because it's so high altitude that people are like, whoa, what is this? Because they may not have seen anything like it before. And it's quite I mean, if I saw that, I'd be like, what is going on if I wasn't aware? And I feel like rocket launches are almost in some ways routine enough that we don't think like, oh, like of course, you know, it's a rocket. Like you're just like, oh my goodness, like what is going on here?
Yeah.
So.
And I feel like they're getting to that point now because they do launch a lot, especially there in Southern California with SpaceX. And of course, we even saw the Artemis II launch just several days ago. And there were a lot of people in aircraft, commercial airlines, looking out the window and watching all of a sudden the rocket launching there from Cape Canaveral. So that would be a cool sight too.
Yeah, I know a couple people who happened to be on flights that were like within view of it and had said like, oh, they were able to like delay their takeoff by like 2 or 3 minutes and be able to like time it so they'd be able to see it, and you know, out the window, there it is, you know, in the distance, like, wow, that's just absolutely wild.
That's when you definitely want that window seat.
Yes, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of stuff to talk about today. Of course, we're going to be continuing to follow Artemis II as they make their journey back to Earth here over the course of the next few days, and just being, you know, keeping a close eye on everything that happens with that, but also our forecast.
Yes, indeed.
Finally making that turnaround.
Yes, Chief Meteorologist Chris Tomer will be here starting at 4 o'clock, and throughout the evening, watching as we see those temperatures start to warm back up as we go throughout the coming days. So he'll have the latest updates on tonight's frost freeze and when you can expect the warmth to finally get back here for hopefully a while.
Make that progress, make that switch. And so, of course, until then, you can always catch more news and weather online, as always, at 10tv.com.
Have a good afternoon.